Because if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be here today. And now because of that, I'm get to live this life. And I have the desire and the drive and the want to give in this way. My life is shaped by a lot of events, but one of the most powerful was somebody doing these kind acts for my family. When I was 11 years old, we had a really, really tough Thanksgiving where there was no money and no food. And my mom and dad at the time were fighting like cats and dogs. And my mom was screaming at father about how he couldn't even take care of his own family, and it was horrible. And I have a younger brother and younger sister. I'm the oldest. So I was trying to keep them from hearing this conversation. And then a miracle happened. Bang on the door. I'm the oldest. They're screaming. So I go answer the door. And I answer the door, and standing there is this giant man. I was this little boy. And he's holding this huge box of food. And beside him on the ground was a black pot with an uncooked turkey in it. And he said, "Is your father home?" And I said, "Just one moment." And my dad opens the door, and this man's standing there with this big box of food. And my father did not get happy. He looked at this man, and he raised his voice to him, and he said, "Look, we don't take charity." And then he took the door to slam it in the man's face. But the man was a good-sized man. He put his foot there and smacked his foot and bounced back open. He said, Sir, this is not charity. Everybody has tough times. Somebody knows you're having a tough time. And they want you to have a magical Thanksgiving. I'm just the delivery guy." He said, "Please take this." And my father said, "We don't take charity." He went to slam it again. And this time the guy put his shoulder against it so he couldn't do it. And then my father's staring at him. It's like these two males starting to get in this intense mode. He's holding this thing, and he looked at me, and then he looked at my dad, and he said, "Don't make your family suffer because of your ego." Now my dad's level of energy increased, but he was also trapped. You get it? So he took the food, slammed it on our table, and slammed the door in the man's face and never even thanked him. And I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to cry. Part of me was crushed. And I watched my father storm off and went on back to scream at my mother. And I remember that day just thinking, I don't understand. And years later, I began to understand it a little bit. What I began to understand is that you look at a person's life, whole life is shaped by decisions. That's what we've talked about today, right? But there's 3 decisions you're making every moment you're alive. And the way you make these 3 decisions shapes your destiny. First decision we're all making every moment is, what are you going to focus on? What are you going to focus on? And, I realized that my father's life and my life ended up very different because we made that day 3 decisions very differently. He decided to focus on the fact that he has not fed his family. And the second question is, as you're focusing on, what does this mean? What does it mean? That day, my father decided to focus on the fact he hadn't fed his family, and I know what meaning he gave because he said it out loud over and over again, that he was worthless because he had not taken care of his family. And then the final and most important decision you make every moment you're alive, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'll tell you what he decided to do. He decided to leave our family shortly thereafter, which at the time was the worst experience of my life. It was the most crushing experience I felt. It's unbelievable. So that same day, I made 3 different decisions. I decided to focus on the fact there was food. What a concept. I like that. But what changed my life was the meaning I gave it. I decided that day that what this means is that strangers care. And if strangers care about me and my family, I decided what I was going to do is I was going to care about strangers. And that completely changed my life. I promised myself someday I'd do well enough to do this for other families like was done for me. And I didn't wait till I was, wealthy to do it. I did my first one when I was 17. It was the most euphoric experience. I realized in that moment that the worst day of my life, my father leaving, had actually been the best day of my life. Because if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't be here today. And now because of that, I'm get to live this life. And I have the desire and the drive and the want to give in this way. And so I've really realized that the worst day was the best day, that was God's gift. The gift wouldn't have been there if he would have stayed. There's an old country song that says, thank God for unanswered prayers. I tell you the story. If you want to change your life, figure out how your worst day was your best day. You'll change everything, because it is if you look for it. If you find the deeper meaning, it is. There's something in you that wouldn't be there without it.
작은 성공이 모여 큰 성공을 이룹니다. 오늘도 이 성공 비밀을 노트에 필사하면서 성공적인 하루를 시작하세요. 한글 5번, 영어 5번입니다. 시작합니다. 나는 역경의 깊은 의미를 이해하고 인생을 바꾸는 기회로 활용할 것입니다.
I understand the deeper meaning of adversity and use it as an opportunity to change my life.
나는 역경의 깊은 의미를 이해하고 인생을 바꾸는 기회로 활용할 것입니다.
I understand the deeper meaning of adversity and use it as an opportunity to change my life.
나는 역경의 깊은 의미를 이해하고 인생을 바꾸는 기회로 활용할 것입니다.
I understand the deeper meaning of adversity and use it as an opportunity to change my life.
나는 역경의 깊은 의미를 이해하고 인생을 바꾸는 기회로 활용할 것입니다.
I understand the deeper meaning of adversity and use it as an opportunity to change my life.
나는 역경의 깊은 의미를 이해하고 인생을 바꾸는 기회로 활용할 것입니다.
I understand the deeper meaning of adversity and use it as an opportunity to change my life.
10억의 빚이라는 최악의 상황에서도 제가 성공할 수 있었던 비결은 성공한 사람들의 마인드를 내 것으로 만든 것입니다. 켈리가 했다면 당신도 무조건 하실 수 있습니다. 켈리가 당신에게 이 성공 비밀을 공유하는 것은 성공을 유지하는 비결 중에 하나입니다. 지금 당장 주변 사람들과 이 성공 비밀을 공유하세요. 좋아요, 구독, 알림 설정은 이 모닝콜을 함께 제작하는 20명이 넘는 재능 기부자들과 켈리에게 큰 힘을 줍니다. 사랑합니다.